Good morning guys, how are we? My name's Mark from Treasure Hunting Scotland. Welcome along to this video. Today we are off mudlarking out on Glasgow's industrial past. Right, we're calling it that. We're going to go along a riverbank which was very polluted during Victorian and Georgian time, during the industrial area of Glasgow, of it becoming a city. During that time this river was very much polluted and didn't have any fresh water. The water that now comes to Glasgow actually comes from Loch Catherine through a 26-mile pipeline. That's our fresh water supply, and I think we actually supply England as well now with some water. So today we're going to head along it was a very polluted river during Victorian and Georgian times, but nowadays a lot of the species are starting to come back, species of birds, species of fish. The river is starting to be cleaned up, being dredged. So there's hope that one day this river, you know, may be fresh or fresher, as they say. A lot of dredging, a lot of stuff has been dredged out the river, removed. Certain stuff hasn't been tipped in it anymore, so it can be a fresher river, and hopefully a lot of species of fish will start to, you know, recover again here on Glasgow's industrial past on the River Clyde. So we're heading on to the beach, do a spot of mudlarking, see what we can find, and I'll catch you guys in the first hit. Well guys, can you guess what it is? It would have been a harmonica reed. The metal slots would have went in here. You can see where they would have went into. That's the wooden part of an old harmonica. Entertainment for Victorian times, that's what I always say. Beautiful little harmonica reed. It's nice finding these. These come out the tip from behind me. But yeah, that tip's wearing thin. You have to go more inland now to find the goods. Well, there you go guys, look at that, a whole leg of lamb. Found a whole leg on the beach. You can see it's got some markings on that. Yeah, look, 140. That's off an old German doll as well. Maybe like a cloth doll. Interesting, isn't it? I'm going to take that with me, because sometimes you get enough parts of these. Some of the German doll collectors will buy them off you, which is nice, and I do sell a lot of the dolls' heads to the collectors. Look at that for a chunk of sea glass, eh? Big chunk of sea glass. See how the sea's been wearing it down. Nice big bit of sea glass there, eh? Hey, what's that? When I seen that there, I thought it was a fibula. Yeah, don't know what that is. At first glance I thought it was a Roman fibula. But yeah, it's definitely not. But you can see why I thought that. Seeing it sitting like that, that almost looked like a Roman fibula, didn't it? Definitely not, but well guys, can anybody tell me what they think that is? I've just found that on the beach. I think it is a candle snuffer. You know, for putting out your old candles in Victorian times. That possibly could be a Victorian or Edwardian candle snuffer. It's just plain and simple. Some of them have got great decoration on them. But yeah, I think that is a candle snuffer. Look at that, there's something in there as well. Yep. Look at that. A little pot. Amazing, like, eh? All sorts of odds and ends on here. That's what I love about this tip. You do find all sorts of odds and ends on this lovely little tip. So let's keep going and see if we get anything else. I'm sure there must be a part of this tip that's undone. It's got to be. I've yet to find it. Well guys, don't know if I've got one or two here. Can you spot the mudlarking finds? Possibly two. I'm not sure if this one is or not. So we'll go for this one first. Yep, definitely. Look at that. Beautiful little clay marble. And here is another. Straight out the hole there. Beautiful. Two little clay marbles. Woohoo! Plenty of sea glass on here anyway, look at that. Loads of it. mean, if you're a sea glass collector, you could go wild on here. There is lots of it, and in plenty of different colours as well if you make jewellery. Well, I've decided to walk along the high tide at a beach line where there's a tip, and I've came across some lovely bits of old doll's heads. Look at that, eh? A couple of various bits of doll's head there I've found. It's great finding these because they're from probably 1900s to 1920s tips. They are German Berlich's doll's heads, and yeah, if you can get them in the really big sizes, they can be worth quite a few quid. But yeah, there you go, a few bits of German doll's heads. Well, the amount of clay pipes that still lie about here is unbelievable. There you go, look at that. Nice, probably Edwardian or Victorian clay pipe. Probably more on the Edwardian side, probably judging by how far up it goes. If it goes kind of straight, it's more like Edwardian. Then the further back you go from Victorian to early Georgian 1700s. But nice, eh? Lovely little clay pipes. I like that. Loads of them about here still. It's just got to find them. Got to look for them and find them. One thing you'll notice about this area is the water's wet. Look at the clay up there. Nice and dry, and as you go down, it's wet. Now that wet is from the Clyde, and that shows you this early on in the winter, and the water's hitting these embankments on a high tide. There is going to be some deep destruction done in these embankments this year, I reckon. This pier here played a big part during the industrial era of Glasgow for this area. It used to supply this area with food, lots of fish, coal, meat, alcohol, you name it, it came off the boats here. This was like a docking station, and then goods would have been taken along the canal to the areas that needed food and supplied to the local suppliers. So this pier here had a big supply, also had an inn on it, and like I said, the history here is Roman, medieval, and it dates probably way back older than that. I know further along towards the points along there was Bronze Age swords pulled out of the Clyde. Lots of medieval history dating back to Iron Age along towards Dumbarton Castle as well. So yeah, a little bit of history there for you. I don't know if I've did much of the history on this area. It's just because I'm finished now with this area. It's an area that I'm not coming back to, and I thought I would just fill you in and tell you the history and what we've been doing over the last couple of years here, hammering the embankments and stuff, and to give you an idea of how bad the coastal erosion is. You can see there's the embankment there, and it's now away back there. It's now went in 1, 2, maybe 3 metres. It's quite a fair bit, eh? It's took away with coastal erosion, so it goes to show you, a couple of years time, I think this embankment will be all gone. Just found this scraping into an embankment there. Glitchy, that's broken. It's been a jug in its time, and it looks like Dalton or something like that. It's got that kind of a Dalton look to it. Heartbreaking, isn't it? Maybe be able to get something. I'm going to take it home with me anyway. I'll maybe do something with it, we'll see. Might make a wee handle and then try and paint it, but yeah, it's going to be a hard job to repair that, but I might give it a go. I'm getting adventurous in my old age. I'm learning new techniques. Not that I'm any good at them, but I'm trying. You can only get better at something if you try, and doing bottle repairs is something that I'm getting better at, because you know, the more you try, the more you learn. This is a beautiful little find, that I love that. Stunning detail, isn't it? It's kind of stunning detail on it, isn't it? Some stunning detail on it, isn't it? It's gorgeous. Well, I found that right up at the embankment there. You always follow this pottery because generally it leads you to a dump. Beautiful bit of a, I don't know what that might be, whether it's maybe a tiger or something like that, or a cat, or some sort of wild cat it looks like, doesn't it? It's nice. And I found a big clay marble. Very nice. Not had very much World War II history off this beach in a long time, but you know, once your places get popular, people do come here and they'll detect and they'll find what you left behind. They'll find what you actually missed with your detector. So yeah, all detectors are different, and sometimes they'll pick up stuff that yours doesn't. So it's potluck. It's getting a harder beach to find stuff on now. Found an inkwell. It's toasted. Oh, it's got some writing on it. Jai Field. Now I'll tell you about this inkwell. This inkwell is actually quite rare. Jai Field inkwell. Yeah, gutted, it's all cracked, eh? A lot of cracking up it. And I'd have kept it. Find this in blue, I think it's 30-40 quid for this little inkwell. Gutted. That's a nice inkwell. Going to leave it behind in case anybody wants it. Subsequently, this is something that I've never did here, but I've never actually just get in the water a little bit here, or in some of these beaches. You know, it's always amazing to have a look for stuff in the water. You can pick up machines now like the Nocta Macro Simplex for £250, £300. There's some more beach glass over there. Oh, we nearly got to buy that there. What's that? Bit of lead. Oh, it's not a bit of lead. Look at that, it's out there. Got to be out the tip, isn't it? Bit rough looking, that, isn't it? It's a bit like my flu, it's rough. Check that out, man. Lead dog, man. Look at that. It's a bit in the rough side, but a bit in the rough side. I like my Impala. Ah, that's gorgeous, man. A nice big lead dog. Look at that, unearthed after probably about 100 years or 200 years in the ground. Beautiful lead dog. Rough for finding that dog from a bit of bottle. Look at that. See what I like about that? It's quite a common bottle. California fig syrup, but it's actually melted. It's been in a fire. There used to be a lot of flint on here from medieval times. The Knights of Templar were in this area, and the Romans were in this area. So yeah, there used to be a lot of flint, but I've hoovered quite a lot of it off of this beach. I must admit, I've took hundreds and hundreds of bits off it, and I've sent a lot to Treasure Trove, which I haven't received back because Treasure Trove take 2 to 3 years, sometimes 4, unless you keep harassing them for your signs back, or if they're going to claim it or not. Wow, they're so backlogged with pieces of history, it's unbelievable. But what you can see here as well, right, is when you go to a beach, see if you've got a bottle dump, you can see the build up at ash, and that's where your heavier stuff is settling. That's all ash there, right, that black stuff. You can see where your heavier stuff is settling, so this would be a good area. If I was a metal detectorist, this is where I would be metal detecting, where all the heavier stuff is settling. Nice fragment of clay pipe. Yeah, little fragment of clay pipe there. Tell you one thing about this place is there's lots and lots of sea glass. There's a bit there that I've just picked up. Lots of sea glass. Check that out. There's a little stopper, eh? That's from the World War II era, believe it or not. They went in water bottles during World War II. That's a World War II bottle stopper. That went in bottles during World War II. They're water bottles. Now, like I said, this place was set for an invasion on this part of the Clyde during World War II, because if there was going to be an inland invasion by the Germans after the Blitz, then this was the place. It was one of the places they would earmark that they would land on the beaches here and make their way into Glasgow from here. This city took an absolute hammering during World War II. It was blitzed to pieces, better known as Blitz of Clydebank, and yeah, you may just be able to make it in the distance here. One of the old buildings. That would have been where they would have shot at the ships. But yeah, we're walking along the beach, we're looking for fragments of the past. The metal detectorist hole. Now that little find must have not tickled his fancy, because he's left it behind. Look, big metal detecting hole. And he's left it behind. There's like holes everywhere from the detectorist. Little wagon wheel. Surprised at that. It's a lovely bit of history, that. They came off the old coaches, Victorian toys. Date from 17, 16, 1800s. Beautiful piece of the past there. I wouldn't have left that behind if I was a metal detectorist. but like I said, I'll take it. Love it. Doing the top bit in here first before I take this down, and I've pulled out a lovely blue ink. Get in. Woohoo! Now that's a nice first start. A lot of you guys have been asking questions as well, and I'm going to add some of those questions in that were in the comments section about the bottles and stuff. If you want to ask any questions, I'll be happy to try and answer them for you. But yeah, starting us off with this blue ink, and we'll keep chomping in, taking down, and I'll let you know what we get. Well, the next one out is actually a Stafford's ink. It's got a pouring lip on it, I think. We'll see it a bit better when we get it cleaned up, but that is definitely a little Stafford's ink. And we got a little OXO, 2-ounce OXO bottle, which is nice. A little early sauce bottle as well, look at that, that's early. Like I said, this hole is actually showing a lot of early stuff, but it just hasn't produced some really right good stuff. I want a ginger beer from it. Nice Fino's Lightning Cough Cure as well there. Well, let's just throw out this lovely bottle that says James Law & Co. Chemist Glasgow. Now that's a new one on me. Any information on it, anybody? James Law & Co. Chemist Glasgow. Looks to be a beer. Isn't that a bra bottle at the tip? Love it. Right guys, Andy dug this up. He's came out of a hole and just showed me this beautiful. Look at that, you can still see a bit of the original label on it, so I'm not going to touch it too much, but that is brilliant. It looks like a little whiskey decanter or a perfume bottle. You can see it's got some of its original label on it. Somebody out there will know what that is. Whiskey decanter, perfume bottle. It's a bra find. He says a couple of little amber meds as well. And we're just going to keep going in more holes, and we'll see what we get. Well, that would have been a McDougall Bonhill cod. The thing about these cods is quite rare, you don't find a lot of them. McDougall Bonhill with a fork. I'm going to take that because I think that'll clean up well for an upcycle, so we'll do some sort of upcycle with that, and maybe make it into a candle or something like that. We'll see what we can do with it, but yeah, if it cleans up well, maybe a drinking cup. Right guys, just dug that out. Nice clay pipe. The workman. That's him in the hole right there. We were saying to Andy earlier on, we'd get a job in the old gold mines, the holes we could dig. True enough, that's a true pipe, because we do put the work in and we deserve the things that we get. Nice little clay pipe, working man's pipe, penny pipe, which is nice. Just found that hanging in the back wall. Possibly going to be blank and an Allsops. Haha. The reason I know that is because this tip used to throw out loads of them. Beautiful little Allsops beer. Get in. With the pictorial hand. Very common beer it was for this tip. Yeah, nice. Nice little mini half pint Allsops beer. Right guys, finish up off the bottom, SCWS. It's Glasgow. It's got a pictorial hand on it. I don't know how well it's going to pick that up, but definitely a pictorial hand there. That's the SCWS mineral. Nice.